After a very long time, we finally have official product images for the Super 7 Super Cyborg Mechagodzilla 1974 figure. The first time I did a video on this figure was all the way back in February of 2022. It's been a long time coming, but this figure actually went up for pre-order a few months back, kind of with no fanfare. And only now are we getting official product images outside of images that I looked at in the past in previous videos, sourced from magazines and concept art. Side by side, these images from a magazine that were released do look to be pretty accurate to the final images that we have here presented by Super7 themselves. At this point, this is maybe the third or fourth video I'm doing on this figure, but I figured it was worth doing at least another one just because now that we have these newer images, I wanted to talk briefly about it. Though I will say that after all this time, we still don't even have like a full 360 of what this figure looks like, at least based off the images that I have found at this time. I was going based off of Super7's Instagram account. I saw that they posted this image here, so then I looked it up and I found these on BigBadToyStore, which is where I initially pre-ordered this figure 2 to 3 months ago, before there was even an image up for the figure. But despite the limited photos, I am very pleased with the actual product images that we have here. It looks really vibrant and cool, much more vibrant than I anticipated it to look. Those reds are really like popping there. It looks like there's some maybe gold paint in there as well. For those of you who might not know, this is an 11-inch tall figure, part of the Super Cyborg line of figures from Super7, which are traditionally these robot-based characters in this line of figures that have parts that can sort of disassemble to reveal the inner workings of the figure, if that makes any sense. So this initial release of this figure will be the clear plastic version, and I say initial release because typically with the Super Cyborg line of figures, Super7 tends to make multiple releases of these figures in different colors. So based on Super7's description, this figure will have 9 points of articulation, including a hinged jaw and cross-attack beam laser chest panel, which I guess means that the chest panel does open. Of course, the see-through plastic shell, and 5 removable panels that will expose the inner workings of its arms, legs, and torso. Also, before taking a look at the figure in the box, I do want to say for the box itself, it does look really cool. Of course, it is tapping into that retro style that Super7 really likes to do quite often. And the illustration on the front, you might have noticed, is one of the images of Mechagodzilla on one of the original 1974 posters from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, which is a really nice touch on this box. I do love the color scheme. It is quite similar to the Jumbo Mechagodzilla that they are also going to be releasing sometime soon. But based on the very limited images we have here, I do really like the way this figure looks in the box. I think the head has this really nice contrast compared to the rest of the body. It does look much lighter colored than the rest of it. I think it goes without saying that there is a lot going on visually with this figure, and it definitely stands out from, I would say, all other Mechagodzilla figures I've ever really seen. Showa Mechagodzilla is my second favorite kaiju, or mecha, whatever you want to call it, right behind Shin Godzilla. Now, I have quite a few figures of the Showa Mechagodzilla, and one of the things, at least for me when it comes to collecting, I do get a lot of different variations of the same character. So I have a lot of Shin Godzilla figures, I have a lot of Showa Mechagodzilla figures. And for me, I try to get figures that don't look exactly the same, and this is why this figure appealed to me so much. Like I said, I do wish there were more images to go off of. It's kind of weird how they've marketed this figure retroactively after it's already gone up for sale. At the time of this recording, this figure is sold out on BigBadToyStore, and I don't even know if it was ever listed on Super7's website officially there. Maybe it will sometime in the future. I will leave links down below in the description of where you can acquire this figure. But I am curious to know your guys' thoughts on this figure. Have you already pre-ordered it, or do you plan on getting it sometime in the future? And if there's other releases that come out in other color schemes, what would you like to see? Anyway, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, and taking a look at my other Godzilla figure content on the channel as well. Lastly, thank you for watching, and have a good one.